Information Station 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. Quite often you find yourself as you're driving, you're thinking about something somebody said, or maybe you're taking a shower and you're just thinking about something somebody said, and quite often we are influenced by something somebody said, whether it's a person you know, a person you saw on TV, maybe somebody on the radio. It gets you upset, right? And you don't realize how you really are in control of those thoughts. You can stop. You can say, you know what? Get out of my head. I want to change this channel to something else.
Yes.
Not always so easy, but it is possible, and so it sometimes does cripple us when our thoughts just keep going on and on and on. You've got some interesting. Our guest, I haven't introduced you yet. So let me say, our guest has some interesting thoughts about ways to become mentally more at ease, I guess, with ourselves and with the world around us, and basically to understand what the truth is. It's a small book, but it says a lot. It is very much the work of a philosopher, and he is in the studio, Roberto Guerrero?
Guerrero.
I'm trying to say it the English way. But
yes.
Are you Hispanic?
Born Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay. So it's Roberto
Guerrero.
Guerrero. Robert, that sounds so pretty, doesn't it?
It does.
Roberto Guerrero.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you for coming in, Roberto. How do we know you? How did you come to our attention?
Thank you for having me. Actually, Martone.
Mr. Martone.
Yes, yes. He was at the eye clinic, at the VA eye clinic, and he got an eye exam. And I happened to be the one that worked on him.
Oh, you're an eye doctor?
I'm an eye tech.
Eye tech.
Yes, I do all the hustle before the doctors get to see you.
What kind of phone do you have?
Phone.
Yeah, do you have an iPhone?
iPhone.
Okay, just wanted, just to use the joke. Okay, Roberto is retired from the U.S. Army, 22 years of service. Wow, good for you. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Working for the Veterans Administration, that's how you met Joe.
Yes.
You were born, as you mentioned, in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Right? And you can speak both Espanol and Anglais.
Inglés, yes.
Anglais. Which is Anglais? That's the French way of saying it?
Oui.
Yeah. Oh, you know three languages. You're trilingual.
Trilingual.
Yes, a little French.
I can speak a few languages.
Do you?
I can speak English, Pig Latin, and Horn.
I thought you was gonna say British.
No, I can't. Oh, I can speak. No, I can't speak British. No, that's the whole story behind British. But do you know how to speak Horn? Okay, somebody beeps their horn at you. You're walking down the street. You go, oh, that means hi.
Yes.
Right? But if you're in front of somebody at the stoplight, that means get out of my way.
Yes, that's
I speak Horn. So mentally crippled, are you, ask yourself, this is the title of the book, Mentally Crippled. Tell me about the book. You're a philosopher, by the way.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And a poet, yes.
Well, I there's a lot of things that we do in life, and we tend to blame things when things happen to us, instead of looking back and maybe realizing that maybe we are the cause of the negative things that happen to us. Even the good things, we have a lot more control than we know, but we let a lot of other things guide our everyday life.
Like what?
We listen to the radios, we listen to friends, preachers, a whole bunch of people that can guide you. It may not be necessarily what you want to do, but because others are saying it, you follow.
Right. Well, and I think here's how I relate to what you're saying right now, is that if I'm listening to, let's say, one of these, because we're not the angry radio people.
Yes.
But there are some out there.
Yes.
And they'll go dang and a ding and a ding on the pounding on the thing, and they're angry for 4 hours or 3, however long the radio show is. And I always say to Robin, how is it possible that these people are angry for 3 hours? It's got to be an act. There's nobody who's angry for 3 hours every day.
It must be a miserable feeling.
Yes. Either that or they're laughing the rest of the 21 hours.
They're good actors on the radio.
I think it makes money for them, is what I think. Okay, but how that affects us is that we turn off that radio, or we get out of the car and we start thinking about what they said, and you say, yeah, he's right. And if that person happens to be politically leaning one way or the other.
Yes.
And you're either mad at him because you don't agree, or you're mad with him because you do agree.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yep. And that can influence your day.
Yeah.
And how you treat others.
Right. You know, and we're coming up on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
This is when we get together with family.
Yes.
And family has all different opinions.
That's right.
So when politics comes up in a family gathering, all of a sudden it's a time bomb. It's a fuse ready to blow up, right?
Yeah, no politics, only good eating and laughter
Right,
at Thanksgiving.
exactly.
Yeah, like the Lions Club says, they keep politics out of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Religion and politics, you don't want to talk about that because so many different opinions and feelings, you can really turn people.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so it's best.
Oh,
to-
you really have written a very insightful book. I mean, I really do believe that when things happen to people, it is because of themselves and not generally because of somebody else.
Yes.
Yet people tend to blame the other person
Yes.
instead of their own selves.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And actually, I have a lot of folks at work, and I try to influence folks, but sometimes you see that people don't want to be influenced.
Right.
So I just,
Are you like a counselor with your coworkers?
if I say yes, but when they're gonna watch it, they're gonna say.
All right. To the one part that jumped out at me from the book, I have to ask you about this.
Yes.
Because I think you're right, but I don't know. Okay, let me just tell you. Is this the part with men?
Yes.
I'm not ever going to find it. Men.
Yes.
All right. We're married. We have an extramarital affair.
Yes.
It's just the way we're built. It's hardwired into us.
Yes.
You can't get away with that.
Right.
No.
That is mentally crippled. That part of the things that we do.
Okay, so elaborate on that a little bit. So
and-
that's how we blame.
We blame society. We do things because others have done it, and we don't take, once again, responsibility for our actions. If you go and have an extramarital affair, that's on you. You decided to do that.
Sure did.
No one pointed a gun, and a lot of people like to say, when they have sex with someone else, they like to say, "Oh, I was drunk. It was an accident." No.
Right.
There are no accidents. If you decide to lay with somebody, that's a decision. Unless someone's being raped,
Yeah, right. right.
it doesn't apply. If you do it, you knew what you were doing.
Exactly.
Okay, so with that said, is it forgivable?
It all depends on the individual, because one of the things with not forgiving somebody is that you're the one that may be hurting by not forgiving them. We hurt inside when we hate, when we don't forgive. It's not to forgive to make them feel better, but for yourself, for your own healing.
Okay, so if I go break into somebody's house and I steal their stuff, I deliberately went in, knew what I was doing, knew it was wrong all the way.
Yes.
But if a guy is hanging out, let's say he's on a business trip and he goes to dinner with one of the ladies there and he's married. This came, I don't know if you're old enough to remember All in the Family. Remember
Yes.
All in the Family?
Yes.
Okay, Archie Bunker went to this event and he hooked up with somebody. He didn't hook up with her, but he almost did. Hooked up is a new phrase. It means something different now than it used to mean. But it used to mean
went to bed with her.
Yeah, it used to mean that they just had dinner. Now it means you went all the way. But anyway, so the character Archie Bunker, the writers made it so that he was tempted but resisted. Okay. But had he not resisted, had he given in, and this happens to a lot of guys, he didn't really mean to hurt Edith, just like the guy who breaks into the house meant to steal. So it's a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, that's...
It doesn't take away the pain that the wife is going to feel.
That's right.
But
and there's still that fine line. You still have to cross it.
So what other ways are we crippling ourselves?
Our attitude.
Do we believe that we are the victim of our age, whether it's too young or too old, our race? Do we believe that? Should we believe that? Is there any validity to it at all?
Well, there's people talking about it, and that's how they feel. But if their mind was set in a different way, it's how you put it out.
Right.
If my mind is confident in who and what I am, then I don't let all those external things make me do things or behave in ways that I wouldn't normally.
Right, right.
And that's one of those things. Yeah, it can all be done. We can do a lot of things, and there's a lot more mentally crippled things that I put in the book. because I wrote this book and I made it thin enough so I want to slap somebody in the face and read this. If the book was too big, my audience probably wouldn't read it. And I targeted it for certain folks.
Some people would, yes, and some people wouldn't. Let's take a little break, and we'll be right back. I'm sorry I didn't mention this earlier, but we just have a short break here, Roberto. The book is called Mentally Crippled. Are you? Ask yourself. Think and change your life. Very, very thoughtful book, and small, but very, very philosophical. Roberto Guerrero served 22 years in the U.S. Army. We'll take a little break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today, areas of low clouds and fog giving way to sunshine. A very warm day, high 84 to 88. And tonight will be mainly clear. Lows ranging from about 60 and into the mid and upper 60s at the coast. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Highs ranging from the upper 70s to the mid 80s. And on Saturday, sunshine and some clouds. Highs in the 70s to near 80. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Are you ready for a picnic? We'll save the date Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Silver Spring State Park. It's a family picnic for the re-election of Chris Blair as Marion County Sheriff. Tickets on sale now. $20 for a single, $30 for a couple, $50 for the entire family. If you'd like to purchase tickets, visit blair4sheriff.com. Live entertainment, great food, lots of children's activities. The family picnic for the re-election of Chris Blair. Saturday 11 to 4 at Silver Spring State Park. Political advertisement paid for and approved by Chris Blair, Republican for Sheriff of Marion County.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
There's nothing we can do to make a long commute shorter or to make traffic move faster, but long and stressful commutes are linked with job burnout, so more strained relationship at home. Drink more green tea. I do every day. It contains an antioxidant called EGCG, which keeps the germs that cause the flu and pneumonia from entering our system. People seated in tall chairs earmarked more money to go to savings and spent more frugally.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. One of the things I like about the mentally crippled phrase is that I can sink my teeth into it, because I like the idea that we can change our lives, so that your title says a lot just in the title. Mentally Crippled, are you? Ask yourself, think, and change your life. Roberto Guerrero is in the studio to talk to us about this very eye-opening book. And I want to tell you how I was mentally crippled.
Yes.
And I changed. I hope I changed. Are you ready for this? It's in the car.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in the car, and I'm on 17th Street, and I'm in the left-hand lane. And there's a guy flashing his lights behind me because I'm going too slow for his tastes. But I am going the speed limit.
Yes.
But he's on my tail, flashing his lights. So I get over like a good little boy and let him pass. And then I'm mad at myself because I did that. I said, I should have stayed right there. So then I get behind him. Now I chase him down. Now I'm flashing my lights at him. And then he pulls into a parking lot, and I pull into the parking lot. And he gets out, and he says, you have a problem with me? And I say, yes, I got a problem with you. What are you flashing your lights at me for?
Yeah.
She's in the passenger seat. I'm saying to myself, what an idiot I am. I just almost caused us to be shot. I don't know who this guy is.
Yes.
He could have pulled out a gun. So I said to Robert, I'm not going to do that ever again. That's my wake-up call right there.
Very good.
You know.
Yeah.
So I was mentally crippled. Now here's the thing, too, if I could just say one more thing. If I go to Disney World and it's wall-to-wall people, or I ride the subway in New York and it's wall-to-wall, shoulder-to-shoulder, touching people.
Yes.
I don't get upset.
Right.
But I'm in traffic.
Yes.
And I'm yelling at people through my windshield.
Yeah.
It's a state of mind.
Yes, it is. And you talk about crazy drivers, so
Yes.
I don't know if I was the crazy one or he was the crazy one, but this...
Well, I think because you let him fire something up inside of you that should have just stayed subsided.
It should have.
Yeah.
And it does now.
And we do. That's right. That's what happens. Because there's times my wife and I are driving, and a lady just cuts us off, and I just hung. It's like, hey, don't hit me.
You know how to
And
speak horn. Say you know how to speak horn.
Yes.
Exactly.
And she flipped the finger because...
Who did, your wife?
The lady.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
I'm like, we're trying to avoid an accident.
Oh, yeah.
And she decided, it's like, we're wrong, but she was right, so she flipped.
Right. So did you get angry?
Oh my God.
No.
You did not?
We just laugh, and my wife will get a little excited sometimes. And
Oh, you're a guru.
I have to hold her back.
You're like a guru.
I try to work on myself a lot.
Can you imagine with him and me in the same car? It would just go. I mean, I think I'm better now, though.
You'd be much calmer.
I take my hands, when you pray, and I just say Om. And so, no, I would do that.
One of the interesting points you have in your book is about reading.
Yes, there's people have run away from reading, and thing about what I say is self-education is when you learn for yourself, no one can take that away from you. As I said, my mother never learned how to read or write, but she was so wise. And that's one of those things that if you learn it, all my self-education has made me better. It has made me grow. I treat others differently because I'm learning and I'm bettering myself. And I think if we all, just little things, learn how to read, and as my book is very simple writing, I think. So,
Yes.
so it can be read,
Graspable.
and maybe it'll start you to pick up, and from there you can go to something else. And that's what I try to do. It's reading doesn't hurt anybody.
So your mother couldn't read. Did she make you read?
Actually, it's a long story. We was all born in the Dominican Republic, and she
Did you dedicate your book to your mom? I remember reading something.
actually, if you look in there,
You said something.
I said something about Doris Seeley, the queen of the world.
Yes.
That's my mother.
That's your mother. Okay, that's what,
41 years.
I think
something
that's what
like
we
that, you
figured,
said?
yeah.
Because she had me at 40. So she was 40 years old when she had me. So that's why I say I had her for 41 years, because she died in 2001.
Really? You could be the president. You have. Isn't that what Ben Carson told us? We had Ben Carson on last week.
I heard,
ago.
yes.
And he had a similar background. His mother couldn't read, and she expressed the importance of reading. So.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. She used to, when I didn't know how to speak English, she would try to speak English to me while we was in the
Is that
Dominican
right?
Republic.
Wow.
Yeah, little phrases and
Are
stuff
you
like
one
that.
of many children?
I'm one of 10. I am
wow.
the baby of 10.
Now let me ask. Let me tell you why I ask you that.
Yes.
Because I think okay, and the baby especially. So that's why I'm thinking you have such tolerance, because you had so many siblings.
Well, you would think that, but
you were raised poor.
very.
Okay, and that helps too.
It can.
It should be a prerequisite. We should all be raised
A little
poor.
poor. That would be a wonderful thing for a lot of people to learn. I don't think we would have all the greediness, the selfishness that a lot of folks.
And you appreciate what you're earning now because
Exactly.
because of what you didn't have when you were a kid.
Yes, indeed. That definitely. I won't tell them.
How do you sell that to somebody who was born with a silver spoon? I mean, how do you convince somebody else of that?
That's hard because they can't. It's hard to. They almost have to lose everything.
Have you ever noticed this? That the best songs are written, and maybe some of the best books are written by people who started out with nothing.
Yes.
And then they grow up and they have children, and those children can't even come close to what their parents did.
Yes. That's that struggle. You know, it's nothing wrong with struggling.
Yeah.
Or I don't like to work hard. I like to work smart. Because you don't have to. Just because you don't have money doesn't
Right.
mean you're poor.
Right.
It's how you think, how you live
I
your
love
life.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
But you also address self-worth throughout the pages of your book, and that's extremely important because you feel like people shouldn't feel like everybody owes them everything.
Right. Yeah, you have to learn and earn what you get. I don't like handouts. I rather earn something than someone just giving me things.
Do you know what is really cool? Once in a while, we'll have somebody tell us, here's the book that changed my life. And you say, well, what is it? Oh, it's Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's whatever other books. And Jonathan Livingston Seagull was a very small book also. And I think this will. And here's the thing. I think your book, by the way, if you're just tuning in, is called Mentally Crippled. And I have a copy that I'll give away in just a bit. I'll give it away. Oh. But is that okay?
Yes, so definitely. That's yours.
And I think, how do I say this? That sometimes just hearing things or reading things in this case that hit you at home, it'll stick with you, and it'll help make a big difference for you. So.
Yes.
And what I want to say is Red Skelton, the comedian, used to say, at the end of his show, if I made one person laugh, then I've done my job. If you help one person, then you've done more than your job.
Yes. And my goal was not to sell 1 million books. Hey, if that happens to happen, great. Yeah. But my goal was to touch people. And if that happens, then I'm satisfied.
Before we run out of time, if you want the one that was brought into me by Roberto, just call me right now, and the rest of us will have to buy it. So the number to call to get the free one is 622-9622. I'll try to keep an eye on the screen, even though it's kind of hard to see right now.
And it seems like when a person is a great leader, they're not really aware that they're leading. I mean, every day you go to the VA, you help other people through whatever trials and tribulations they're going through, and that really commands a lot of respect, not just them on your part, but you on their part as well. You also bring that out in the book. You have to have that reciprocity of respect.
And I think a good leader sometimes is just a good giver. We don't have to always take. We can give to someone else. And one of the things I've always noticed is a lot of people, when you ask folks for something, their first tendency is to say no. And if you go with a smile and if I can help you, let me help you. But it's better for some folks to just say no and not do anything for someone else. And that's why we lack so much. If we can do something for someone else, it'll come back to you in different ways. And that's what we need to do, give a little more to each other.
Exactly.
Wow, you're an amazing philosophical man, and a doctor, and a veteran. Oh, you said you're
I'm a tech.
A tech.
I do all the work.
So doctor.
I mean, they're going to get me.
An optometric technician.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. Are you? Do you celebrate the holidays? You celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that?
My wife's getting ready already.
She is?
That's wonderful.
Okay. Now, what do you do to help her get less?
I eat a lot.
But I mean, if she gets stressed out, what do you do to help your wife not so stressed?
I eat a lot. I buy. I provide. And she cooks. And she does all the different things.
Okay.
And this is for her always and forever.
Oh, nice.
She knows what that means.
And do you guys have children?
3 boys.
3 boys?
8 grandkids.
Wow. You don't look like you would have children.
6 girls, 2 boys.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and where do they all live? Around here?
My oldest is in the Air Force. He's actually in Qatar right now. He's stationed out there.
Oh.
Wow.
My middle son is Michael, and my youngest one is Marcel, and they both live here in Ocala.
You also stress the importance of non-wasting in your book. And today, with this throwaway world we live in, that is extremely important to bring up.
Yes, and that's also from coming up. We always turn the lights off. And my wife knows right now. Always when they leave a room, turn off the light, because she always says, "I'm going to come right back," but 20 minutes later, you didn't come back. The lights are still on.
Yeah.
So little things like that. Excuse me. And that's how I try to, even with waste with money, food. Usually my plate gets cleaned.
Oh, Clean Plate Club member. I like that.
I try not to leave even a grain of rice if I'm leaving, because it's oh, that's one piece of rice left. It's got to be finished.
That's right. Me too.
The happiness that I see in you, Roberto, tells me you're probably one of the richest people we've ever met. So
thank you.
Thank you for showing us that, and for showing us what it really means to be rich.
Thank you.
It makes all the difference. I've met some people who've got a lot of money and they're not as rich as you. I don't know how much money you have. Maybe you have a lot. I don't know.
No, but you're so right. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what it's about, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming in. It was a joy to get to know you.
Thank you.
Mentally Crippled, do you have a website for the book?
It's mentallycrippledbooks.com.
Books, plural?
Yes.
Books, okay. mentallycrippledbooks.com. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you very much.
That was great.
I appreciate you folks having me.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 13